Hello, students. Welcome to lesson number 7, part 2, Coorg. Earlier, we have done the first part, which is a baker from Goa. So, today we are going to begin with part 2. This lesson gives us a very beautiful insight into the small district of Karnataka and its people. The place has an amazing weather throughout the year with enough rain during the monsoon season. The people of Coorg are known to be one of the bravest in India. Coffee is the main crop grown in this region. A variety of animals can be found here, while the place is surrounded by the beautiful Brahmagiri hills, islands, and Tibetan settlements. This lesson is written by Lokesh Abrol. Now, let us begin reading the lesson. Midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore sits a piece of heaven that must have drifted from the kingdom of God. This land of rolling hills is inhabited by a proud race of martial men, beautiful women, and wild creatures. Coorg or Kodagu, the smallest district of Karnataka, is home to evergreen rainforests, spices, and coffee plantations. Evergreen rainforests cover 30% of this district. During the monsoons, it pours enough to keep many visitors away. The season of joy commences from September and continues till March. The weather is perfect with some showers thrown in for good measure. The air breathes invigorating coffee. So now let us begin with the explanation. The new words that we can see here are drifted from. That means it must have been carried along very gently by air. And martial is having to do with war. Like you have martial games, like you have karate, judo, taekwondo. Yes, they are martial arts. So the word martial. So martial men and women. So where is the location? Coorg is located halfway, midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore. And it sits like a piece of heaven, like a slice of heaven that has come from heaven, from the kingdom of God. Because God is the heaven is the place where God is supposed to be. So they are saying that it is so beautiful that one considers this to not belong to earth, but this must have floated and come down from heaven. And this land has hills and very proud race of people. Martial men and beautiful women and wild creatures are animals live there. Now, Coorg or Kodagu, that is another name for Coorg, is the smallest district of Karnataka, and it has evergreen forests because it has very heavy rainfall. So it has spice gardens and coffee plantations. A lot of coffee grows there in Coorg. Evergreen forests cover 30% of this district. And during the monsoon, there's such heavy rain, it pours and pours that visitors, don't like to visit. No one likes to be in a place where it is raining so heavily. Then the season of joy, that means when the rains stop by September, that is the time when, people are really happy to come and visit Coorg. The weather is perfect and there are some showers still, but you have really invigorating kind of a climate there. And this air, you get the aroma of coffee. There are coffee estates and colonial bungalows. Are colonial is in the time of the British, there were like bungalows built, and that's why they're called colonial bungalows, because they were built so long ago when the British were ruling India. They stand tucked under tree canopies in prime corners. Now canopies are like an umbrella, a roof like covering that forms a shelter, and prime is best corners. Then the fiercely independent people of Coorg. Now you can see the picture of a man here, and he is a Coorgi. So they've told you about their costumes, how they wore their clothes. They have this belt worn here, they have a headgear, and a long robe that they wear. So this fiercely independent people of Coorg are possibly, they must have come from Greece or from Arabia. They are possibly of Greek or Arabic descent. That means they have come, their ancestors must be either Greek or Arabs. As one story goes, a part of Alexander's army moved south along the coast, and settled here when return became impractical. And these people married among the locals, and their culture as apparent. That means can be seen in the marital traditions, marriage, and religious rites, which are it could be martial traditions, marriage, and religious rites, which are distinct. They are very different from the Hindu mainstream. The theory of Arab origin draws support from the long black coat that they wear. So here we are talking about the people. So they are saying that they could be either Greek or they could be Arabs. Now, one story says that Alexander had come to India, right? He wanted to conquer the whole world. And so, when his army moved south along the coastline, they settled down here. Like many of them wanted to go back, but they couldn't go. And so they decided to stay here. And then many of them got married to the local women. And so their culture, that means Greek culture, is apparent in the martial traditions, in the marriage and the religious rites, which is very different from the like normal Hindu people. And the theory regarding the Arab origin is because of the coat, long black coat that they wear. Mainstream is the tradition that most people follow, which is very different from the Hindus, and with an embroidered waist belt worn by the Kodavus. We can see this waist belt over here that is worn there. And that is the reason why they think they have come from Arabia. So the Kodavus wear that, and the belt is known as kupia. It resembles a kufia worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. So Kurki homes have a tradition of hospitality, and they are more than willing to recount numerous tales of valor related to their sons and fathers. The Kurg regiment is one of the most decorated in the Indian army, and the first chief of the Indian army, General Karyappa, was a Kurgi. Even now, the Kodavus are the only people in India permitted to carry firearms without a license. So, the first, what you say, the first story is that the Kurgi people could have, like, they could have had Greek origins, or the second one says that their ancestors might have been Arabs. Now they're saying that Kurki homes have a tradition of hospitality. That means they love to, invite people, and they are very hospitable people. They like to treat people, they like to feed people, and they like to welcome them in their homes. And when people visit them, then they recount is they keep on telling about many stories of valor's bravery. Tales of valor is stories of courage and bravery, usually that took place in the war, relating to their sons and fathers. Then the Kurg regiment is supposed to be the most decorated, is the one having received the maximum awards for bravery in war. And the first chief of the Indian army, General Karyappa, was a Kurgi. So this shows that many of them have joined the Indian Navy, Army, or Air Force. Even today, Kodavus are the only people in the whole of India who are permitted to carry firearms without a license. Every other person in India has to have a license from the government in order to carry firearms. Then, now we go on to the description of the place. The river Kaveri obtains its waters from the hills and the forests of Coorg. And Mahasir is a large freshwater fish. That means not in the ocean, but it's a river fish. It abounds in these waters. Kingfishers. Next is it talks about the fish and then the birds. Kingfishers dive for their catch. They catch those fish and they eat. Then squirrels and langurs drop partially eaten fruit for the mischief of enjoying the splash and the ripple effect in the clear water. Elephants enjoy being bathed and scrubbed in the river by their mahouts. So then, after talking about the people and how hospitable and brave and courageous they are, we come to the description of the land. The river Kaveri gets its water from the hills and the forests of the Coorg, and there is a fish by the name of Mahasir, which is a large freshwater fish. You find them in abundance in these waters. Then the kingfishers dive, that means they jump into the water in order to catch fish. Then squirrels and langurs enjoy the fruits that grow there. They eat them and drop them into the water with a very mischievous way. They enjoy watching the water splash and the ripple effect. Elephants also enjoy being bathed and scrubbed by their mahouts, other trainers, the ones who ride them. The most laid back individuals become converts to the life of high energy adventure with river rafting, canoeing, rappelling, rock climbing. So they are telling us about what kind of adventure sports are there in Coorg. And the people who are the most laid back is like, having a very lazy lifestyle. And when they come to this place, they also become converts, as they no longer remain lazy, but they become very energetic. When they look at the river rafting, canoeing, these are all adventure sports, water sports. River rafting, canoeing, rappelling, rock climbing, and mountain biking, that means taking a motorbike and going through the hills. Numerous walking trails in this region are a favorite with trekkers. That means they are paths created by walking. Like in Hindi, you call it a pagdandi. So, numerous walking trails are a favorite with trekkers. A lot of people like to go trekking in those hills. Then we come to the birds, bees, and butterflies are there to give you company. That means as you go walking or driving or like move about, then there are lots of birds, bees, and butterflies, so a lot of insects. Then macaques are monkeys, malabar squirrels, langurs are also monkeys, and slender lories, these two are an animal, means it's like a monkey but it has a very slender face. It keeps a watchful eye from the tree canopy. That means there are very dense trees there which are like an umbrella shaped. So I do, however, prefer to step aside for wild elephants. So the author is saying that I do not like to stand in the way. I prefer to step aside when wild elephants are passing by. And the climb to the Brahmagiri hills brings you into a panoramic view of the entire misty landscape of Coorg. So a panoramic view is a view of a wide area of land from a height. So, a walk across the rope bridge leads to the 64-acre island of Nisargdhama, running into Buddhist monks from India's largest Tibetan settlement at nearby Bailakap. Bailakap is a bonus. So, Bailakap is a Tibetan settlement, and there are lots of Buddhist monks there. That is a real bonus. It's a plus point. The monks wearing red, ochre, and yellow robes are amongst the many surprises that wait to be discovered by visitors searching for the heart and soul of India. So, where will you find the heart and soul of India? You'll find it right there in the middle of Coorg. So, they are saying that not only are there birds, bees, butterflies, macaques are monkeys, then squirrels, langurs, and slender lories, all these are there keeping a very watchful eye from the trees. And there are also wild elephants and the Brahmagiri hills. When you climb into the hills, it gives you such a wonderful view of the entire landscape. Everything, there's a lot of mist in the evenings. And it says a walk across the rope bridge takes you to the 64-acre island of Nisargdhama. And what do we have there? You have Buddhist monks from India's largest Tibetan. You have the Tibetans settled down there at Bailakap or Bailakappe. It's the bonus. And you'll find them wearing what kind of robes? Red, ochre, and yellow, like brownish. They are amongst the many surprises that wait to be discovered. So, if you want to find the heart and soul of India, you'll find it right there in Karnataka in the smallest district, that is Coorg. Now we go to the fact file. Madikeri, the district headquarters, is the only gateway. That means the only way that you can go to Coorg is through Madikeri. Then the misty hills, the lush forest, that means dense forests and coffee plantations will cast a spell on you. That means you'll, like, they are weaving magic around you. Find a resort, estate, or a stay in a home for a truly Kurgi experience. So there are many people in Kurg who are, like, who have opened their homes to guests, so that, like, they're offering a truly Kurgi experience. So you could go and live there with Kurgi people. They will charge you for it just like a hotel, but you will have a wonderful experience. Then, how do you reach there by air? The nearest airports are Mangalore, that is 135 kilometers away from Kurg, and Bangalore, which is double, almost double, 260 kilometers. And there are flights to Mangalore from Mumbai and to Bangalore from Ahmedabad, Chennai, Delhi, Goa, Hyderabad, Kochi, Kolkata, Mumbai, and Pune. Then, if you want to go by rail, you could go. The nearest rail heads junctions are Mysore, Mangalore, and Hassan. Then, if you want to go by road, there are two routes to Coorg from Bangalore. Both are almost the same distance, around 250 to 260 kilometers. And the route via Mysore is the most frequented one. The other route is via Neelamangal, Kunigal, Chandrayan, Chan, Chandrayana Patna. Chandrayana Patna. So these are the various ways. That means you could either go by air, you could go by rail, you could go by road. So these are the various ways in which you could reach Coorg. Now let us go through the question answers which are there. Where exactly where exactly do you find Coorg? Well, Coorg or Kodagu is a small coffee region midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore. It's the smallest district of Karnataka, and it is a land of rolling hills where a proud race of martial men, beautiful women, and wild creatures live. Then the next one. What is the story about the Kodavu people's descent? Well, we just now saw that there are two stories about the Kodavu people. The Kurgi people are possibly of Greek or Arabic descent. It's believed that Alexander's army moved south of India along the coast and they settled there when they were unable to return. They married among the local women and their culture can be seen in their martial traditions. Martial traditions, marriage, and religious rites. That means which are different from the Hindu mainstream. There is also some Arab origin which can be seen from their long black coat that is called the kufiya and an embroidered waist belt worn by the Kodavus. It looks like the kufiya worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. And what are some of the things you now know about the people of Coorg? Well, first is that they are called Kodavus or Kurgi people. They have a tradition of hospitality and they like to recall the numerous tales, that means many stories of bravery, of valor related to their by their sons and fathers. And they are the only people who are given permission to carry firearms without license. They are believed to have descended from Greeks who made India their home and some Arab origin and the local people. Then, what is the main crop of Coorg? The main crop of Coorg is coffee. Spices also grow there. And what about the sports that it offers to the tourists? Well, Coorg offers high energy adventure sports like river rafting, canoeing, rappelling, rock climbing, and mountain biking. There are also walking trails, which are a favorite with trekkers, those people who love trekking. Then, what about the animals that you're likely to see in Coorg? Well, the animals, Coorg is very famous. Coorg is very famous for its wildlife. There are birds, there are bees, butterflies to give one company. There are macaques, there are langurs, Malabar squirrels, and slender lories, keeping a watchful eye from the tree canopies. There are wild elephants, then the fish, the mahasir. Then we also find kingfishers diving in to catch fish. Then there are squirrels, there are langurs that drop partially eaten fruit for the mischief of enjoying the splash in the water. Then domesticated elephants can be seen enjoying bathing in the water by their mahouts. Then, what is the distance from Bangalore and how to get there? Well, Coorg is midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore. The nearest airport is 260 kilometers. There are flights to Bangalore from Ahmedabad, Chennai, Delhi, Goa, Hyderabad, Kochi, and Kolkata, Mumbai, and Pune. There are also two routes to Coorg from Bangalore, around 250 to 260 kilometers. And the route via Mysore is the most frequented by people. The other is via Neelamangal, Konigai, and Chandrayan Patna. So, here are six sentences with some words in italics. Find phrases from the text that have the same meaning. Look in the paragraphs which are indicated. During monsoons, it rains so heavily that tourists do not visit the Coorg. So, which is that they keep away from that area. Some people say Alexander's army moved south along the coast and settled down there. So, that is as the story goes. The Coorg people are always ready to tell stories of their sons and fathers' valor. That means they are more than willing to recount. Recount is to tell. Then, fourth one, even people who normally lead an easy and slow life get smitten by the high energy adventure sports of Coorg. That is, individuals become converts. That means they change their lifestyle from being lazy and they become very energetic. The theory of the Arab origin is supported by the long coat with embroidered waist belt that they wear. That is, uh, it draws support from macaques, Malabar squirrels observe you carefully from the tree canopy. That means they keep a watchful eye over you. Now, thinking about language, collocations. Now, collocations are words that go together. Like you'll always find those words being spoken together. Such word friends are called collocations. Now, an easy way for you to remember is you know in school when you see that certain people are friends, you'll never find one person without the other. You'll always see them together. The same way in vocabulary, in English language, when you have certain words always going together, that is known as collocations. The collocation of a word is the company it keeps. For example, look at the paired sentences and phrases below. Which is a common collocation and which one is odd? Strike out the odd sentence or phrase. Now, first one is how old are you? How young are you? So, no one says how young are you. Everyone asks you how old are you, right? So, which is the correct one is how old are you? And the odd one is how young are you? Then, a pleasant person or a pleasant pillow. No one ever says pleasant pillow. We always say a pleasant person. He is a pleasant person. I enjoyed meeting or I enjoyed his company, right? So, which are the collocations? How old are you and how a pleasant person? Here are some nouns from the text: culture, monks, surprise, experience, weather, tradition. Now, work with a partner. There's no one, so you'll have to do it yourself. But I just want to discuss it. Discuss which of the nouns can collocate with which of the adjectives given below. The first one has been done for you. So, now let us look at which ones can pair up with which ones. Monks. Monks can pair up with unique monks or unforgettable monks. Surprise. Sudden surprise or terrible surprise. Experience could team up with unique experience or wide experience. Weather is terrible weather or unique weather. Tradition could be ancient tradition or unforgettable traditions. Now the next. Complete the following phrases from the text. For each phrase, can you find at least one other word that would fit into the blank? Well, tales of. Now you need to read the lesson for this. Tales of valor. Then the next one is a coastal town. Mangalore is said to be a coastal town, and there are many people when visitors come, then they tell tales about the sons and the fathers, so tales of valor. Then a piece of heaven. Korg is said to be a slice of heaven which has floated down from the kingdom of God. And then evergreen. What is evergreen? You have rainforest. There's such heavy rainfall that they have evergreen forests which never lose. That means they are entirely green throughout the year. And then you have coffee plantations there. Then a rope bridge. Then what kind of animals? Wild animals. So, children, I hope you have understood this lesson well. Thank you and have a nice day.